Good morning, I am Cristina Varela and I would like to speak about the CLIL lesson I have prepared. We will find this lesson within the didactic unit, the Plant Kingdom. I have chosen this unit because it's one of those I have prepared or developed in the school during these last 3 months. And apologize. I am developing this unit right now at the school, and I found out that my students are quite bored with the original material they had, and I decided to prepare a different lesson for them. This lesson has a main topic, which is the parts of the plant, and the main aims are for them to understand and differentiate the parts of the plants, and also to understand and explain what plant needs to grow. And to do so, we will need to first see the life cycle of a plant. So, with this information, the parts of the plants and the needs of the plant, they will finally understand how this cycle is done by the plant. Firstly, I will present you a PowerPoint with all the information about the activities. The first part of this PowerPoint will have the teaching objectives with the content and the cognition objectives, the learning outcomes, what we want our children, our pupils to produce, the language objectives. Considering it's a CLIL lesson, we will need to have some language objectives, and the key competencies our students will develop, and obviously the final evaluation of this task. Firstly, I would like to introduce my students. My students are in the first year of secondary school, and they are not in use of using this kind of method. They also have low intermediate level of English. We can consider them in a V1, some of them. So we will need to work in this way with not very complicated vocabulary or expressions, but also challenging them to produce more than they think they can do. I have divided the activities considering the kind of production they are going to do or the language skill I want them to develop. First of all, we had a pre-reading activity. This pre-reading activity will consist in label the different parts of a plant in a drawing. That's easy. They have done that already. They know how to do it in Spanish, and they have the knowledge in English. So it is it will be not complicated for them, and also it is a good way to start our lesson. Secondly, we will have a vocabulary and reading activity where they will need to use the words of the first exercise to match with the definition. So in this exercise, they will have the information they need later to complete the life cycle of a plant. So they will need to know what every part of the plant does for the plant. To do so, I left them the link for a dictionary, Macmillan Dictionary, that will help them to make sure that their answers are okay. This reading activity will be done by the student alone in the classroom, but the next activities, they will perform them, or they will carry out them in groups or in pairs. The second group of activities will be more practical, in the sense that they will need to do more. They will have to listen and watch a video. We will be doing that in the classroom, but also they will need to work with their group afterwards. This listening activity and video, they have to watch and listen. It's a video about the Eric Carle's story, The Tiny Seed. It is a simple story, but in this story they will realize more or less how a seed can grow in different habitats and what the seed needs to grow. So they will have examples of what it happened to the seed in the desert and also in different habitats. So for the next activity, for the writing, they will need to discuss with the group, in groups of 4, the story from this exercise, from the exercise 3, and they will need to answer a few questions. For example, a seed like this cannot grow in the ocean. Do you know why? So they will need to compare the information they have. They will need to guess. They will need to discuss. And as they have a Chromebook as a working tool, they can research. This work will be done in the classroom, but obviously they can complete the task at home once it's finished. Afterwards, I'm proposing them a reading activity. This one is a bit more difficult than the first ones, because in the first ones I provide them the reading, I provide them the definitions, but in this one they have a link, so they have to go to an English page. In this case it's from BBC, and they will need to read about the life cycle of a plant, and I'm asking them to draw this cycle. So they will need to understand the cycle to be able to draw this cycle. And afterwards they will compare this cycle, these drawings and the information with their partner. So this activity will be done in pairs, and this will be in another day in the classroom. Finally, I'm asking them to perform a task, a final task, which will be the one I will be considering for the grade, the final grade. In this final project, they will need to identify the parts of the plant, but while the plant is growing. So they will need to grow a seed. I think I'm gonna record a video for them so I can show them the first steps of this project, and they will need to do this at home. Firstly, they will need to grow a lentil seed. It can be also a bean seed, it doesn't matter. But in this case, I'm asking them to use lentil because the growing time is less than with the bean, in the case of the bean. So the main thing is to put the lentil in cotton. The cotton needs to be moist, and leave it in a place where they have light, or enough light for them to grow. And they will need to observe their plant every day. And every day they will need to report in a diary or take pictures, everything that will help them to complete the activity at the end. Because at the end they will need to present their findings to the class. It can be a poster, it can be a PowerPoint, it can be a guide, it can be a video. At the end of 1 week, they will need to show their partners, their colleagues in the classroom, what they have found out about the growing process of a plant, the different parts of the plant, and obviously what a plant needs. Because if we are leaving the plant near the light, it's because the plant needs light and also needs other things they need to know. As I said, this one is going to be the task I will be grading, and for this, the pupils, the students, they will have the rubric. I send them the link for the public rubric, and also during the class they will receive the peer feedback. They have another document to do so, and I have created a Padlet where they can leave, they can upload their documents, their videos, or their PDFs, or their PowerPoints, so I can have material to grade after the presentation. And I think that's so. I will upload everything, and this video will be on the PowerPoint I prepare for you. And that's all. I hope you like the CLIL lesson, and I'm really looking forward to use this lesson with my students. Have a nice day.